The one that he was commenting on, was that cerebrum or
Cerebellum. Cerebellum is suppressed by alcohol.
Yeah. Just making sure it's still going.
Oh, okay. I noticed that she's got her little setup now with the phone being able to record me a little bit.
There you go. It's all fancy and stuff.
All right, so these are networks of neurons working together for overall control. So first we have the reticular activating system. Reticular activating system is tapping into the hypothalamus, the basal forebrain, then the pons as well. Notice that it's in the midbrain is where this formation is. Its job is to keep us awake and conscious. So when activated, we are awake. When suppressed, we are asleep or unconscious. Depends on whether or not there's damage to the midbrain. Now let's talk about sleep. There are two kinds recognized. Non-REM has the delta waves, and this is the important one. The non-REM sleep is where all of the healing goes on in your body. We'll talk about the role of sleep here in just a second. The REM one is the one that gets all the glory because this is where you dream. Rapid eye movement is what REM stands for. Now, your actually during REM, the brain is suppressing motor neurons. Why? So you can't move. Otherwise, you act out your dreams. So this is sleepwalking.
Cool.
This part, sleep, sex, sleep, eating, sleep, driving, sleep, all those things that happen, particularly when you take Ambien, apparently. So I had a student, she graduated from nursing school last May. Her presentation was about her husband. Her husband completely acted out all dreams. And her husband was a police officer. So all dreams were violent, which means that he believed that she was a perp. And so he would start attacking her, kicking her, punching her, throwing her around the room. Plus he was fully walking into crap, cutting himself up, thinking he was jumping over walls and stuff and chasing people and not. And so she slept in the room with him because we discussed that at length. The class did. Because she needed to pay attention to keep him from hurting himself. So when he would start this certain kind of irregular breathing, she knew that dreaming had begun and it was time to be on the alert. To wake him up if he started doing something violent. And then at the time she gives the presentation, their 11-year-old son had started sleepwalking. And so now she had another member of the family to keep an eye on to keep it safe. Now the problem, it turns out, is that this burns out your dopamine receptors, so dopamine neurons. So that means he will have Parkinson's disease. And though he was on some medications to try to keep him in bed, but I just found that presentation really interesting, albeit difficult for her, certainly. So you've already seen EEGs. You already know delta waves are slow and big. Stage 1, this is where you are starting to fall asleep and your body starts to relax. And then cerebellum particularly realizes you're starting to relax and it thinks you're falling. And that's why you do the jerk. Because there's the, oh, we're going to fall off the curb kind of thing. Then notice REM sleep has the pretty same EEG as stage 1. Stage 1, you might be aware of what people are saying around you kind of thing. So you are in a real light sleep, and you are in a real light sleep when you are dreaming, which is why you often wake up, and that's why you remember your dreams. Now, why do we sleep? Sleep is essential for homeostasis. As a Puritan society is how we originated. We get this idea that sleep is bad. If you sleep, you're lazy. You're not motivated. But it turns out that sleep is required for health. More and more studies, and I just read another one, more and more studies talk about the essential component of sleep. So First of all, moving short-term memories to long-term. They did tons of studies, bless you. Oh, different students need. It's contagious. Pretty soon it's just going to start making its way. They've done studies with college students where they gave them material to learn. The students that studied the material, that slept, did better on the test than the students who stayed up all night studying the material. All right, it's repair of the body, controls appetite. This is now part of your weight management plan, is to be sure that you are sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night because of hormones. There's certain hormones that are suppressed when you don't get enough sleep. In fact, Good Morning America just did a segment last week. Why do we crave comfort foods? Because we haven't had enough sleep. Okay. Controls blood sugar. Controls cardiac function. This is a new study showing, and this was a single night. They took healthy men, only let them sleep 4 hours, did blood work, discovered they were already on their way to type 2 diabetes with a single short night because it interferes with the ability of our cells to process blood sugar appropriately. So now we have another one for type 2 diabetic management. They also need to be sure they're getting enough sleep. It increases inflammation because you notice that removal of free radicals, general repair, sleep removes inflammation. And so if you're not getting enough sleep, then you have inflammatory proteins which irritate the blood vessels, which increase heart problems. Then we have immune system, and it is essential in immune system. So this explains why you don't get enough sleep, you get sick. When you're sick, all you want to do is sleep. 11 days is the record, and then the person died. So 11 days is as long as you can go without sleep before the immune system degenerates. They did a study last semester about the common cold. This is pretty impressive, very well controlled. They took cold virus and actually shoved it up the people's nose just to be sure they got a full dose of the cold virus. Then they tracked all the blood work, they tracked amount of mucus, thinness of mucus, the number of Kleenexes produced, whether or not there was a fever, cough, all of that stuff. And they found that people that got less than 5 hours of sleep, 45% of them got the cold, versus only 17% who slept in that 7 to 8 hour range. Now remember, they got cold virus shoved up their nose. There was no, maybe they didn't get a full dose. No, they got a full dose that could have infected them, but their immune system protected them so long as they had a good night's sleep. All right, circadian rhythms determined by the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus, adjusted every day by light, and it controls the pineal gland to release melatonin. I'm of the anxious sort, so I'm the kind that would lay awake and worry. They found that blue light, see, I can even see the blue light reflected in Arthur's glasses. The blue light that's coming off of your shiny screens suppresses melatonin release. So I bought these yellow glasses. They're actually safety glasses, and I just put them on over my stuff about an hour before it's time for bed, so I can still watch